We're gonna eat good tonight.
Hey everyone, we are at October 15th. We're at the midway point of October, and this is an unusually cool October thus far. It won't be long. We're actually going to have temperatures for highs in the upper 40s. So these fish are getting ready to kick into high gear. So I do anticipate a good day catching today. I'm going to do a little crappie capers recipe for you at the end of this on this catch and cook. A recipe my awesome wife came up with. But first things first, we got to get out here. We're going to do a little dock shooting, a little pop and cork, and try to catch us a dozen or so crappie so we can entertain you with a meal later on. Stay tuned.
So to begin with today, we're going to look at some main lake docks. This is not a deep lake, but it still has all the features. It has deeper water, it has your flats, it has the back of your creeks where crappie can chase shad. But we're going to concentrate on these areas first and then work our way back. These fish are in transition, so a lot of the fish will be just scattered throughout. We're not going to catch a lot in one place probably, but we should come across enough to be able to do a fish fry tonight. Starting with docks first. We'll do a little dock shooting if we can't get under there real easily. But with a kayak, you can actually get in there stealthily, and they'll have no idea you're there, and you'll catch a boatload. First jig we're going to try today is the Minnow Flash 3-inch Shelton Curly Tail. It's also got the 1/8 ounce googly eyes. It's an excellent jig, but it's more for bigger crappie. We're going to try to catch the bigger crappie off each dock first. If that don't work, we'll downsize to the smaller jig for the smaller crappie. We'll probably catch a bass or two also. Don't be surprised. Had a bite on the first cast, but he didn't hold on to it. Oh, lost him. Striper. Not the fish we were after. Crappie just out here in the middle. That way he engulfed that thing. Looks like that's a big bait. They're feeding up. Found this little school. We may not be here long. Well, wasn't exactly expecting that one. Well, I may get him in here. Finally, one on the cork rod, though it was just on top of the water. Pretty good little fish. Something I haven't been able to do much with is locate this jig in the prime spot. It's been the big jig so far. This northwest wind is absolutely killing the bite. It's been really slow. You have to keep it right in their face. So we're gonna see if this jig does a little bit better for us, because that one came out here and chased it out here in the middle. So maybe this color could be a trigger for him. We'll know here in a few minutes. First cast. That's interesting. Not a big one. Not a big one at all. But for the recipe we're making tonight, it's going to be a delicious one. They are tough to catch. You have to sit there and tease them just to get a bite. I mean, they are really tough to catch right now. If you're wondering once again what color this is, it's the chartreuse red flake with the red head. It's a deadly combination, even on a really tough day like today. If you don't get under that dock, you're not getting bit. No one said these were going to be monsters. This is the best one of the day right here. This is one I caught under that dock out on the point, and he was on there before I could even lift up on him. It was a nice fish. He was the shallowest probably of all the crappie too. About 2 foot of water. You know, my grandfather grew some of the best tomatoes on earth, and his secret was to always put his fish from each day into his garden in different spots, especially during the spring, summer, and fall. So helping these fish get their full life, the circle of life, if you will. This is a great tip for making great soil come next year.
Want me to pull it up with my phone?
My wife's decided to show you all how to cook this recipe. How did you come up with this recipe? Do you remember?
Nope.
Just kind of flung it? In the smoke a little bit?
The grass is on fire.
That's all right. We'll put it out.
I'm worried my pan's about to catch on fire with that oil.
Liar, liar. Get it?
Liar, grass on fire?
Yep. So this is crappie capers. It's one of our favorite recipes.
Adapted from chicken piccata.
Yeah, that's where it starts. I don't even know what the hell a chicken piccata is.
An uneven ground, so our oil's just gonna be a little uneven too.
That's okay. So first things first, get the oil hot.
Not going to take long with that fire going.
Gotta go get the fish.
Go get the fish. We need that for sure. First, coat the fish in flour. Sounds amazing. We're going to get all the fillets in there that we can, and then we'll put a second round in just a second. Fire that hot, you literally need it on each side for what, a minute maybe? Will be enough.
Maybe. Very small fillets, just getting golden brown.
Golden brown. How would you describe this dish as a culinary arts major? Is it Mediterranean style? What is it?
I think you'd consider chicken piccata like an Italian thing.
It's Italian? Okay, I get it, with the butter, the garlic, and all that stuff, capers.
This is a little different than chicken piccata.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a scampi a little bit for some reason, even though, I don't know, the garlic butter really does. It's amazing, that's all I'll say. These crispy ones are awesome.
The little ones get nice and crispy.
Okay, we're done with this pan for the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's going on now?
Now we're gonna melt some butter.
Butter. Love butter. So this second part is the sauce part, correct?
Correct.
To make the fish sauce that we're going to be dunking it in?
We're gonna go ahead and make a lot. I'm using a whole stick of butter because I have some quinoa inside that I'm also gonna put it on.
Nice. This sauce is absolutely amazing. Swollen.
Alright, now that that's pretty well melted, I'm going to be adding some lemon juice. I've got about maybe a half a cup. And then I'm going to add a jar of capers.
She's not just hot, she can cook too.
We're going to make sure we keep the juice in there because that adds the flavor.
Now there are large size capers too, right?
Yeah.
We just stick with the
Different
small.
types of capers. Capers like a weird little olive. And usually I'll just let it simmer together for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty much there. Looks good. So now we're just going to toss the fish in there. Give them all a nice little coating. We're not worrying about cooking it anymore. We're just coating it in the sauce. And then we'll pull it off.
And when I say this brings out a whole new flavor, you won't believe this when you try it. It's that quick. That flour will absorb that buttery taste, lemony taste, the capers. Yeah. I'm not even completely downwind and I can smell it right now. It smells amazing.
All right. Now this is just a couple cups of quinoa I cooked earlier. We're gonna put it into the butter mixture. It's gonna absorb it up, and it's also going to fry. Still working on just browning up that quinoa a little bit, cooking out some of that butter, melting all the flavors together a little bit. Now, we never said this was a very healthy recipe. That is a lot of butter, but it's so good. We're just gonna let that soak up, mix it in with those capers. And let her brown.
How is it? Pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Perfectly crispy, perfectly flavored.
Buttery, lemony, capery, and fishy.